Hello and good evening. Good evening. We have a nice little evening planned for you guys. Um, Friends and family, welcome, all of you. It was so good to see some of your faces today here at Cured Whey, picking up your packages, and yesterday. And of course, we have Caroline Velasco.
Hello.
We have Jason Blanquet,
Woohoo.
Epic Wines, and you got Michael Stamm with MGP, and then the two Curd Nerd ladies tonight will be joining us very shortly. They're just finishing up the baked Breeze, so they can actually walk you right through it on how it's made and put together and the options you have with it. But welcome, Jason. Cheers.
Cheers to everybody. Happy
Cheers.
holidays.
Yes.
Happy holidays. Happy
Happy
holidays,
holidays.
ladies in the back.
Yeah.
My wife and Joanne are sitting in the back, so they say hello. Brian, cheers to you. So, Caroline, actually, Jason, why don't you start off with the wine? Talk about the wine.
Sure, of course. So we're going to be drinking a Chenin tonight. Chenin is one of the few red varietals, Chenin is a region of Caprock, which is one of the few red wines that are grown in the Loire Valley, Pinot Noir being one of the other ones. With any wine or cheese pairing, I guess you would say, there's no absolutes. You can go in so many different directions, and we try to mix it up with the wine and cheese pairings that we do with Cured Whey, and at home you should try to mix them up too, whether you like white wine, whether you like red wine. But the reason I think Chenin is going to go well with the baked Brie tonight is because of soft tannins and the beautiful fruit. Think about we've got an introduction.
And that was Chanel.
Cheese curds are hard at work making baked Brie. But you can drink the wine throughout. So the wine is delicious on its own, and it's delicious with the baked Brie. If you're going to match a red wine with Brie, or especially baked Brie, you want soft tannins. You don't want a lot of wood presence. You want a lot of like juicy, rich fruit. High mountain fruit is, what Chenin really is all about. You're on the banks of the Loire River, south-facing sites that think about like huckleberries, mulberries, boysenberry, blueberries, a lot of red fruit, beautiful acidity. You need acidity to cleanse through your palate when you're talking about going to the richness of the baked Brie. The baking aspect of the Brie really changes the dynamic. You would generally, if you're going to go with just fresh Brie, probably a Chardonnay or a Sauv Blanc or Chenin Blanc might be a better direction to go in, or even a Pinot Noir. But the baked element kind of gives it a different flavor, a different taste. This is why we kind of thought Chenin would be a great matchup today. The Brie region is just north of Paris. It's kind of in the upper middle part of France. When you're talking about the closest red wine region that I would say to Brie would be Chenin.
Yeah. No, I enjoy it. I absolutely enjoy the bouquet.
The bouquet is great.
I
Think
mean,
about
oh my
violets
God.
and rose petals and peonies, just a lot of purple and red flowers.
Yeah.
But a lot of like dense blue, black, and red fruit. You're gonna go with Chenin. You can go so many different categories. A lot of producers. It's a whole smorgasbord. There's some that are make strong tannic, really long-lived, aged Chenins, and some that make fresh, just easy to drink. Something like you would think like a Beaujolais.
Yeah. No,
This is a producer that wants something that is fresh and easy to drink and a little bit more available at a youthful age.
No, I really enjoyed this one. I'm glad you brought it into us for tonight's class. And I agree with you that this one will go really well with the baked Brie. So, what is Brie?
What is Brie?
Caroline, what is Brie?
What is Brie? So, Brie, I would say it's a family of cheese. It's like a soft ripened cheese. We usually call Brie because is at that white velvety rind on the top, and it's creamy in the inside. But under you have those triple cream brie,
Yes.
like the brie à Savarin, or you have some goat cheese like Humble Fox, Truffle Trimmer, the Bûcheron from France, the Canada de Cabra from Spain. I mean, it's a large family of cheese. Of course, brie is made in France, but it's made now anywhere else, also in United States.
Yes.
The brie from France, I would say we have big bries like the brie de Meaux. The brie de Meaux is like that we call it 3 kilos. It's about like 6 pounds.
Yeah, 6
Yes,
to
6,
7
7 pounds. It's a big brie. So that's the most popular over in France. So of course we don't bake that big brie.
Well, unless you have a bunch of people over. Okay,
Yes,
for soccer.
yeah.
I mean, what's better than baked brie and soccer? And why?
You're right. But so brie, they usually make in the Seine-et-Marne, like which is like the around Paris, and you also have the Camembert, which is made in Normandy.
Yep.
I mean, also northern France. I would say northeast France. They're pretty much the same. Camembert also a small format. In France, we usually bake Camembert versus brie because we always have those big bries, and it's easier to cook to bake Camembert. Okay.
So, and what's nice about Brie now is, and Camembert, they have some incredible Bries and Camemberts right here in the U.S. I mean, you look at the oldest cheesemaker in California that's been north of the page in County. Absolutely spectacular. They have a wonderful triple cream Brie, which is actually really nice. I like that one baked because of the fat. They have the regular brie, they have a Schloss. I mean, it's just amazing. And then, of course, you have Mugu with their Camembert. So you can do a wash rind. That would go also really well. Or you can do an Ashley. The Ashley Camembert goes really good. The Truffello is, sexy, I would say.
What's Truffles?
Truffello is a Camembert style. So when you bake that up, all of a sudden you get that really nice aroma of the truffles. Okay. What I enjoy on the Truffello is that it's not overpowering. Okay, the truffle in particular, because truffle can go a long way. So a little bit goes a big way. Okay, so be careful with truffle. Okay, but a Truffello, you can never go wrong. And then, of course, there is Brie. And Jasper Hill is making some incredible cheeses. In Vermont, Wisconsin is doing some great cheeses. Wash Creek.
On Brie. So Brie, the region,
Yes,
Is-
the region.
just north of Paris. And
Yes.
I think probably one of the reasons it's become so popular is
Yeah,
it's a Parisian delicacy. It's something that goes with a lot of pastries and a lot of the daily life of
it is.
people
it is,
that live
it
in
is because
Paris.
historically, one of the king decided to make a contest with cheeses. So they had the cheeses from Germany, cheeses from Italy, from Spain, and of course they brought some brie on the table. And of course the brie was the winner.
Yeah.
It's not because I'm French, but I'm just saying the brie was the winner. But
Nothing wrong with that. We
Nothing
enjoy
wrong with that.
French cheeses.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
but yeah, so since the brie became one of the most popular, brie is a very young cheese. The most could be aged like for 4 weeks. Unfortunately, in United States, we cannot have the real brie with the raw milk. we only have the pasteurized version, which is good.
It's for what it is. I mean, if you get an opportunity to try unpasteurized cheeses while you're traveling in Europe, I would only highly recommend it because it's a total different mouthfeel and flavor profile that you're getting. So I really enjoy that.
Yeah.
I miss it, but I mean, pasteurized is just as good. Kind of interesting, and
Yeah, definitely. So, like I said, in France we have the big Brie de Meaux. We also have like we call the Brie de Melun. This is a pretty. I mean, it's also in the Brie region, but the Brie de Melun is it's a small format. The difference is between those two. So the big one, the Brie de Meaux, they put some rennet to coagulate the milk, versus the Brie de Melun. This one is just acid coagulated. That means they let sit the cheese, and it takes almost 20 hours. I mean, 24 hours to make the cheese. So of course, when the curds are formed, they take a ladder and they just pour gently into the mold to make those brie. And because the Brie de Melun is acid coagulated curds, it's just a small format. And then you also have the camembert from Normandy, which is another process. If you go with the original traditional recipe of the camembert, it's a really small format, and they just lather the curds very gently, 5 times to make the camembert, and it's every 50 minutes. So every 50 minutes they lather some curds, and then 50 minutes later they do it again until they have 5 layers, and that's the camembert.
Okay, my question real quick, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people will ask that. In the process of making cheese, normally we always talked about of the curd being cut in different sizes and all that. Smaller, it expels more whey. Why do you not cut bries?
Because
or camemberts?
or camemberts. I mean, soft ripened cheese, because we want to keep the moisture.
Yeah.
We want to keep the moisture. The more, the smaller you cut the curds, the harder you're gonna get the cheese. For example, if you compare Parmigiano Reggiano, you cut the curds very small, so the whey is expelled, and you get those beautiful bigger wheel of aged cheeses.
Yeah.
Same thing with the cheddar.
Yeah, cheddar and Parmesan are the same, where you cut the curds almost a 1/4 inch square. Kind of interesting. It's a really big wire mash, and you just go slowly through it. Usually 2 people holding it. It goes all the way across the vat, and then they're cutting it front to back, and then side to side. So that's what makes the curds really small. Expel, of course, more weight. So on this one, St. Stephen by Four Fat Fowl, Kathy and I were traveling up in New York for that one, and we visited St. Stephen's, produced by Shalina and Willie, the cheesemakers, the owners of Four Fat Fowl. And again, like you said, they just ladled it right in, stacked another tray, ladled it right in, stacked another tray, and then just let it naturally drain. And it was just so spectacular.
Yeah. So the thing, I mean, you have to think that usually making cheese, it was the job of the woman in the, I mean,
women or monks back then.
Well, or monks, but usually when you have a farm, it was the women were in charge of that. So doing a small cheese was much easy than, to cut those and doing those big wheels. So this is much, the farmstead cheese. I mean, back then, milk right here, you have the cheese the same place. I mean, that was very easy for women to do that. And then it was very easy also for the transportation. I mean, small format, very easy. You go to a farmer's market and you sell it, boom, done.
Yeah, exactly. Jason, flavor profile of Brie along with wine. White wine, red wine.
Well, I would
is
say,
there
like I
right
said,
or
a
wrong?
fresh Brie or a Camembert. I would probably, if I'm going to go red, I would go in the Pinot Noir side of that. But mostly are all going to be matched with white. And I would say Chardonnay, unoaked. Sauvignon Blanc would be your three predominant varietals. You're always trying to think about value, think about flavor profile, how things are going to pair and so forth when it's wine and cheese pairings. And I think Chenin has so much value to it.
Yeah.
Cab Franc, a lot of people don't realize is the dad of Merlot and Cabernet.
Yeah.
Two of the most widely planted and enjoyable varietals on earth. Chenin met up with Sauvignon Blanc and they made Cabernet.
Okay.
Chenin met up with Magaline Noir de Château and made Merlot.
Yeah.
So it's just such a versatile wine. You know what I mean? It's got some texture. It's not super rich. It's got some fruit, but it's not overly dominant. If some of the people who were watching today had the last class with the Barbera,
Yeah.
think about Barbera, but lower the acid.
Yeah.
And you want acid with this. You don't want it to be overpowering. Just some soft, supple tannins.
Nice flavor. Okay. Caroline, let's talk real quickly about the Bloomy Rind. How is that created on the Brie?
So they use a culture called the Penicillium candidum or Penicillium camemberti on Camembert. They're pretty much similar. So there's two ways to do it. It's like you inoculate into the vat, or you could spray on the top of cheese.
Yeah.
Of course, cheese is need maintenance. That means those cheeses need to be turned, every day. They need to be see if if the mold is growing on the same way into the cheese. You cannot have like more rind.
Unevenness,
Yes.
unevenness,
Yeah.
It's important on that when the cheese maker, they can adjust it by temperature and humidity, spraying somewhere on there in a very young stage to go ahead and make sure that the rind, that fluffy rind forms evenly. So that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to Marissa and Diana.
Yeah.
Okay, so why don't you guys talk about how to make a baked Brie and how we make this one?
Okay, so making Brie to bake is very simple. You just get the phyllo dough
Nope.
or puff pastry.
Puff
pastry.
Yeah,
Here you
puff
go.
pastry.
Puff
And
pastry.
we roll it out, and this is how we made every single one of them. We took a lot of time to do this for you guys. We can put whatever fillings we want. Most of the time it's going to be a jam. Brie goes well with any red fruit, really anything that is sweet or savory. It's up to you whatever one you want to use. What we did was just rolled it out big enough to fit our wedge of Brie that we have here. Some people ask if you can bake the Brie with the rind on, or if you have to, you can, or you don't have to. You can cut it off if you'd like. Side, top, doesn't matter. A lot of people also say that the rind will taste better once you bake it. So I would keep it on there. We're also filling it with candied walnuts that we have, and then also a drunken raisin. And then after we fill it, we are going to wrap it and egg wash it, so it can have that nice shine that you see on the outside of yours. Go ahead and put it.
You put it in the puff pastry. You can cut your brie in half, which is what we did with your brie, and filled it with all the fillings. Or you can just put it on there on top and then wrap it. It's
Now-
however you feel.
Could you go ahead and take the brie and cut it in half and then fill it on the inside instead of putting it on top?
Yeah.
Okay. Also, to go and take a compote or make a compote of fresh fruit. Okay, and just dice that up, berries and raspberries and blackberries, and just put that on top.
Basically, you can do anything that you would want with the brie or whatever pairs well with it. If you want to wrap that, you can. So then what we also did was we cut out some. Oh yeah. Oh, sorry. We cut out some little decorations to put on top. Using the same cute if you're gifting it to somebody. That for you, and then show you. You want to put some of the jam on the inside. Oh yeah, I was saying. It's not. You can probably slit it too.
Cut it in the middle because that's
Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and put some jam in the middle of it for you.
Cut it in half first. Take out the pastry. Yes.
Okay.
Just on the outside.
There you go.
There we go.
That was easy.
I'm gonna put some in there.
And you just take and layer. Put some nuts in there too. Layer. You throw some nuts on the inside for crunch. There we go. Perfect.
Yeah, so using the Brie de Meaux, we wanted to show you that we could also use a big wedge of Brie de Meaux, even if there's no rind on both sides. So you could do either way. You could do you bake brie with a big wedge like the Brie de Meaux, or with a little round one with all the rind around.
Absolutely. Look at that.
It's beautiful.
It doesn't have to be round, okay?
No, it doesn't have to be round.
So a lot of people think that you have to keep the rind on so it doesn't ooze out, but that's really what you want it to do, is ooze out.
It's so cute. Egg wash it. Just like that.
Whoops.
Yeah. Put a little egg wash on and then dab them. Put egg and flip them over.
Ah, okay. There we go. There you go.
There we go.
Stick. So an egg wash is just going to make the outside of the baked brie really shiny and just give it that nice luster that you want. And it's also going
Shine
to
on
keep
it.
everything together when you bake it. It's just a beaten egg with a little water or milk
Wait.
or cream, yeah.
Even better.
Yeah, again, there is no right or wrong on that. Okay, so
Then you would take this and bake it at 350 for about 5 to 7 minutes until golden brown. So golden brown or until you see oozing.
yes.
So let's
You can also go ahead and take a small dish, take the brie, just cut nice chunks with that, and then put that in with some marmalade on it and bake that up. Okay, and just let the marmalade melt right on top. So I think that's a good one too. Caroline, you wanna go ahead and cut the first one.
Of course. So I'm gonna cut this one. Look at that. So it's very soft. So I would say use a little knife, like a brie knife, because it's gonna be easy to cut those baked brie. And let me show you the inside now. Look at this beauty right here.
So that one was cut in half there.
Yeah.
This one was cut in half, and we did put the nuts on the inside and also the jam that we used.
So, and for the holidays, it's a nice tradition. Wintertime, raclette, cheese fondue, baked brie. Winter, fall, winter, and spring, I think it's always fun to gather with the family and enjoy that. Okay, and of course you can put sliced fresh apples on the side. Some fresh fruit goes really nice with it as well.
Yeah.
Crackers
Yeah.
with it.
I would like to say also you could stuff the brie with truffle. I mean, so that will be amazing. Also, more a little more festive. I don't know. You know, over in Europe, truffle. It's holiday time. Let's have some truffles. So
Jason came up with a really good idea for a baked brie. Why don't you say that, Rick, and I'll mention it again?
I was just thinking you can go on the savory aspect of it as well.
Yeah.
You know, instead of the sweetness with the compotes and the jam and the walnuts, you could surely do like a mushroom griselle with some pork pop. You know,
And truffles.
and truffles, of course.
yeah,
You know?
truffle, of course. Yeah.
Truffles, of course. Okay, there's never wrong with
You
truffles.
could dice up some meat, mince up something, and put it inside. Make it kind of like a savory meat brie pie.
Mm,
Sounds good, actually.
it's interesting.
Yeah, and that's just going to change the aspects of the flavor, and your wines might change. You know, your thoughts and ideas. You're talking truffle. You're thinking, you know, Piemonte or Burgundy for sure. You know,
Even beautiful Tuscan truffle. That's really nice black in wintertime, fall and winter that come up, doing a great job on that with the flavors. Of course, as the truffle matures, the more flavor it has, and that's what makes it kind of interesting. Which is kind of interesting. Talking really briefly about truffles. Spain is actually one of the largest truffle producers. The truffle belt goes from Spain right up into France and then right down into Italy and then around to Croatia and even Chechnya and Bulgaria. It's interesting how that has changed. Find some incredible truffles in Australia. You find truffles now in California, in Oregon. Basically, what truffles like, obviously grown in under a tree, usually a hardy oak tree, something like that. So you can, like this gentleman did in Australia, he took ground up truffles, dipped the roots of the tree in it, and then planted the tree. And waited literally 15 years, 20 years to go ahead and have these absolutely goose egg-sized truffles. And they're delicious. Okay, so nothing wrong with that. So that's about truffle. All right, what do you think? What's the verdict?
smoking.
It's very homey, very holiday. We've got Joanne over there saying, so it's great. Kathy's quiet, so she's just eating. It's awesome. Joanne is trying hers now. Like I said, to me, it feels very homey. I would definitely like maybe some cinnamon on top of mine, make it a little bit more festive. Or honey, yeah, honey would be a nice glaze on the top. Really pairing with anything that you like. Again, the sweeter fruits, and if you're going to go like the savory route, like Jason said, trying anything.
Then drink a Riesling.
Well, I seen online too. Somebody had jalapeno jam on theirs. So sorry, Brian. So you can try spicy, savory, anything that your little heart desires there.
There is not really a right or wrong on making baked brie. Just be creative. Have fun with it. Make it with the kids or the grandkids. It's so much fun watching these little ones folding the dough, and they're really getting into it. So I can't wait. I can't wait to make it. Actually, was my 2, and of course down the road, or actually my 3, because the one is still too young.
Can
The
you,
other 2,
can you smoke brie and then break it?
you know what? I would. Yes, you can. You can actually go ahead and make a cold smoked brie.
Yeah.
And bake it and have it with mezcal.
And oh wow! Yes,
Options are endless.
Yeah.
that would be
Sure.
fantastic.
So-
Yeah.
You know, I got the perfect bottle of mezcal in my office
Yeah.
right now, and that would be interesting. Let's do one. Cold smoke. I do that. You take some brie home and cold smoke it. Sounds good.
Go for the bottle.
Oh. All right. How do you like the brie? Did we do good? Did we do? Let us know.
Got questions?
Okay.
Yes,
Any
what?
questions
Fine.
that you have?
Different fillings, like different filling ideas,
Say that again.
different sweet filling ideas.
Different sweet filling ideas. Yes, absolutely. I mean, honey. You can take syrup and mix that with some fruit. You can make fresh fruit and just a nice, simple fresh fruit compote. Cut up the apple and raspberries and strawberries.
Nice aged vinegar.
Yes, put an aged balsamic vinegar in there. Or if you want to go a little crazy, a nice little bit of Comagny or some amaretto.
Madeira,
Okay.
any fortified wine.
Yeah.
Madeira, port, sherry.
Yeah, whiskey.
Whiskey.
Yeah,
you
we
can
do
cook all
whiskey.
those vegetables. You can cook that compote down with
Yeah.
any one of those fortified wines and get a different flavor.
So in France,
Seasonal dry fruits.
we do. I mean, southern France, we have like it's very popular southern France that we call the pastis. It's in United States we call that Pernod, and this is an anisé. Yes, anisé. I mean, how do you call it? You put a little bit, and then you put some water and with ice cubes, and it's very refreshing for summertime.
Make sure you
Most people
dilute it.
here probably know
Yes,
what
yeah, it's supposed to be diluted, but
Yeah, make it dilute.
But-
Trust me. I was stationed with the French army, and oh man,
they don't really dilute it. I mean, the ice cubes will do.
yes,
You see, the ice cubes will do. So the thing is, you just make a little hole on top of the brie. You pour the pastis on the top. It's amazing.
yes.
Believe me, that's the best.
You can even go ahead and take a whiskey or a vodka,
Yes, the whiskey vodka.
and then
Yes.
just go ahead
Yes.
and light it while it melt in. Do a flambé. Why not? What do you think? Flambé?
It's a different version of baked Alaska. Brandy.
Brandy, yes.
Brandy one. Endless.
What kind of puff pastry to buy in the store? You can use phyllo dough. You can get puff pastry. A lot of the stores have the phyllo dough in the boxes, and this is a multi-layer Greek dough. Okay, or you can do, of course, a typical French puff pastry, which is if you ever have any questions on how to make it, it's a pain in the butt because you're literally making the dough and then you're putting butter in between. You're folding it. You're rolling it back out. Folding it, putting butter in between, rolling it out. Most puff pastries have 7 to 12 layers
Yeah.
of butter and dough. So, and it's just like I said, you make it and then you fold it. Make sure you put the butter in between, roll it out.
Unless you're like a top chef, it's one of those things you do like once in your life and you realize it's a pain in the ass, and then you go buy phyllo dough from the supermarket.
Well,
And trust
do
me,
you mean that
sprouts.
French people are a pain in the ass? Is that
No,
what you
I'm
mean?
saying-
Yeah,
I'm saying-
no.
maybe you have
No,
more
let's
of
say
an
not all
extended
of them.
family, and maybe one of your family members has the time to do it.
Yes,
It's
you're
a lot
right.
of-
No,
it's a
we
lot of
usually,
cleanup
no,
and a
we
lot of work.
usually buy it, already made.
No, and if you really want to see it and experience puff pastry, go and talk to Chef Benoit at French Cottage Bakery or go to Café Rice talk to Chef Pierre. He's doing a phenomenal job. His croissants are excellent. I mean, now we're really fortunate that there's a lot of great. You just got to ask for it. But so the grocery stores, I mean, we picked up some frozen puff pastry at Costco. It's rolled up with parchment paper so they don't stick together. And you just let it really briefly thaw 5-7 minutes at room temperature, and then you can roll it out. So there's really not a lot to it. And it goes really quick, and it's a lot of fun. Make sure that when you put the brie or the camembert in the center, and then take egg wash, put that on the outside, and then fold it over. The egg wash will basically be used as a glue. And then you egg wash it on the outside, garnish it, and you're ready to go.
Yeah, done. Boom.
Yeah, I mean, it's really no big deal. Okay, play around. Is there anything else? Yes, you could use it would be really funky and a pois.
Oh, yeah, well, Mondor.
Yeah, Mondor. Oh, yes.
Harbison.
Yes, Harbison, Mondor. Mondor is October to March. And talk about that cheese because it's ridiculous.
The Mondor is one of the well-known cheese making in Haute-Savoie.
Yes.
So that cheese, the peculiarity of that cheese, you cannot buy it. You only to buy it from September mid-September to mid-May. And then, mid-May, yeah. And then during summertime, you don't find it. This is a typical winter cheese that we bake all the time over in France. This is even more popular in France than the baked brie.
Yeah. If you go and go online, you can. We're actually trying to get some Rush Creek would be something very similar.
Yeah, or Harbison.
Harbison would be similar. There's another cheese that's produced on the East Coast, I think in Massachusetts, that it also has. And what's interesting, it has a little bit of a wooden bark on the outside. Okay, so that you cut the top off and you just start. Once it's really nice and soft.
It's a spoonable cheese, so you just got the top. You don't even have to bake, but when you bake, it's even more gooey. It's just so amazing. It's like
Bake a raclette. Okay, take pieces of raclette, just stack them up so it gets out thick, and then just go ahead and bake that. It will take a little bit longer, so I don't want. But then you have that really nice melty raclette in there. You can take an Italian sottocenere with truffle. That would be kind of, because the sottocenere has that layer of ash on the outside, and it's roughly about 2.5 inches tall. Would just go and take a slice about finger thick and then wrap that up. Okay, so there is so many cheeses that you can do that with. Try a manchego. Take a 3-month manchego and play around with that.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
Well,
can take that 4-fat fowl.
The 4-fat fowl, yes.
I took that, I wrapped it in prosciutto, seared it off, and then wrapped it in phyllo.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that
of course.
sounds interesting.
So,
I gotta call Shalina. Actually, we need to order some.
yes, you get a little protein in there too.
Yes, that's a really good idea. I like that.
That
Wrap
4-fat
with
fowl is
prosciutto.
ridiculous.
So the 4-fat fowl is just is oozing outside. So of course, when you bake it, I mean the rind will hold the creamy, I mean the paste inside, and then when you
Especially
slice
when the
it,
prosciutto's wrapped around
yes.
it, even contains it
Yes,
more, you
and
can
then-
really caramelize, you know.
I bet when you cut it, it was like running. Oh my god! Yes.
I enjoy the cheese anyway when it's a little bit past date. It gets that really funkiness. We call it running away. Uh, Cheese, just like Caroline said, oozes out, and then you just spoon it and you put it on a cracker or a piece of bread. Obviously, baguettes, you go never wrong
No.
with baguettes, or in the morning, put it on your croissant. Okay, there's just absolutely no right or wrong to that. Okay. Um, Questions for both of you. I mean, I would even recommend of making like an onion bacon jam and putting that in there. I think that
Of
would be
course.
kind of interesting.
Well, with peppers, if you like spicy. I was peppers too.
Yeah.
Peppers.
Some
Yeah.
peppers,
Yeah.
maybe add a little bit of a Calabrian pepper to it. What do you
You
think?
just, for sure, but your pairings are going to change.
Of
And your
course.
perceptions are going to change. Spicy foods do not want high tannin, high alcohol wines. You need to go sweet. You need like Rieslings or ports or anything that's got some residual sugar to it. You know, when you're going for the bacon, jam, and fats, you want smoky wines. You want Romes and wines that have a little bit more depth and flavor to them. And, when you're going just traditional, you want lighter, more effervescent, prettier, more elegant style.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
and just play with them. Taste them. There's no, you're never gonna try something in a dish and just open a wine and be like, oh my god, it's the worst thing ever. I
Yeah.
can't. They can't go together.
No.
No, whatever. You just drink it on its own, or open another bottle up and try with, whatever you have.
You can do it with a Latour, or you can do it with a Raviola Porcina.
Oh my
Okay,
gosh.
Raviola Porcina is the small little Taleggio looking style cheese that is really, when it gets older, funky, and just absolutely luscious.
What was the
Um,
small one from Cowgirl that we did a few weeks ago? Was it Cowgirl?
It
Yes.
was the
It
Mount Tom and
small ones.
oh, Inverness.
Yes.
That
the
would be
Inverness.
incredible.
Yeah. We need that cheese back.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm gonna send an email tonight, so
Okay.
the order will hopefully.
That would be a great way to do a smaller style.
Yes,
Something you could do individually.
that would be kind of nice. Or even if you take the Devil's Gulch from Cowgirl Creamery, it has already the chilies right on top. Only available in
Wintertime.
winter. Okay, so that would be kind of nice. And then of course springtime, it would be
Saint Pat.
the St. Pat with the nettles.
Yes.
That would be interesting too. So you could even go ahead and take a goat cheese, like a humble fog, take humble fog minis, or take a Canna de Capra. Okay, so you can, Canna de Capra is about this long and this big around, and then you just take it off and you just put that into the puff pastry. You will get that really barnyardy flavor of it when you bake. It should be fantastic. Okay,
Yes.
we got to do that, but so yes, just have fun with it. Play around. Come in and talk to Caroline, Marissa, Jamie, Diana, and Maritza, and Janelle, and they will guide you through on what is a good cheese for that. Okay, please, always just ask. All
I
right,
don't want to see how
Wine, you can buy wine retailer.
wine retail.
They've got a great book. It explains every single one of the wines that they have. But please ask the staff. Come in, have a glass of wine with one of the cheeses while you're waiting.
Yeah, join me. I always love having you here at the shop. Seeing you, it's family and friends. So your friends,
What goes well on the side?
do what?
What goes well on the side? What could you
Friends
pair
in
with?
one.
What goes well on the side with it? Well, obviously wine. You can do meat, grilled meat with it, seared meat. If you like, you can use prosciutto, jambon de Bayonne would go really nice with that. And what do you think?
Well, if you like, also you could put maybe more jam on the side if you like a little more sweeter.
Mhm.
Or if you want, I mean, if you pair, you could do some onion jam also,
Mhm.
a little more savory. All kind of
Butter and
pickles,
pickles.
yeah,
Butter and
pickles.
Yeah, butter and pickles. So there's so many options out there that we can do with this, and that you can go with that, because what do you enjoy? Okay, what are the flavors that you think are appealing to you, and then just try that. That's usually how food is created. It was by trial and error, and how food was founded. So
So I will put I will put some more cheeses because only one for me is a kind of a bummer. I like I would say I will add some a nice Bavarian blue, the creamy one, or
Oh,
now
that'd be
we
nice.
have a really nice Sizzle one, the Rogue River blue. I will add this one because this one is more sweet. It will be a nice complement to that
absolutely,
bakery.
yes.
I will do also maybe a
Rogue-
nice hard cheese.
Yeah, Rogue River Blue was actually named world's best cheese in London and in
In Italy.
Italy.
Yes.
Correct. So David Gremmel from Rogue Creamery up in Oregon produces this once a year, where he takes so many wheels of blue and then just ages them longer, wraps them with organic grape leaves that they're actually making right there on the farm. So Rogue Creamery is farmstead. So they're doing from the cows to the milking to the cheese making to the aging. Everything is made right there on the
Yeah,
farm.
it's all organic. They even made the pear brandy because
Yes.
of the organic. They have to make everything on the side.
Yep.
Those grape leaves are marinated in that beautiful pear brandy,
Pear brandy.
and then they roll the cheese with those grape leaves. They cryovac that cheese, and the cheese waits for about a year, and you have that beautiful cheese. So it's so, I don't know. It's for a blue cheese. It's very sweet.
Yes.
That's, I've never had a blue cheese like that. And can you believe that they win the award, the world award? I mean,
Yeah.
believe me, the French were very mad about that. Just saying, we're so proud of our Roquefort that we win all the time.
Yeah.
That we were so, what? An American? What?
Yeah.
What's wrong with us? We were so mad about that.
Done this
It's-
before.
Yeah, exactly. We did that with wine a few years back, and
So, yeah.
it's really interesting to see more and more on how the American cheese making has progressed and where we are now. And it's kind of sad because we're this incredible country of immigrants. We're bringing recipes from all over. When our ancestors moved in or immigrated. And then during the industrialization process, when people started moving west and south, they built these massive factories, and those artisan cheese makings were actually lost for a long time. And then, of course, in the 60s, the hippies moved out into Humboldt County. Okay, Mary Keene moved up there. Jennifer Bice moved up north by Marin County, by Sebastopol. Peggy and Sue Conley up in Marin County making Cowgirl Creamery. I mean, it's really interesting. You also find the oldest breed, I think I already mentioned that, in just north at Marin French Cheese. Most of the cheesemakers have a little shop right there where you can observe them how to make cheese, but you can also buy cheese, buy baguette, buy a bottle of wine. I was fortunate enough a few years ago, 8 years ago, 9 years ago, taking my wife Kathy up there, and we just took a drive through Marin County and just north of the Bay Bridge. It is just have a good time, go out, travel. I hope soon we're back to normal, and we can enjoy ourselves in traveling and enjoy that. I can only recommend it to you. If you want me to, I can pinpoint where the different creameries are. Nicasio is out there too, doing incredible cheeses. So yes,
Of course. Well,
Huh?
and if you want to travel more, go over to Europe, and then
yes,
yeah, you could visit in France the Roquefort cave,
caves.
the caves. Yes, the caves. Yeah, so cave in French. You could go in the Conte region and
Yes.
see how they make that beautiful cheese. I mean, in Italy, go to see the Parmigiano. I mean, the Grana
Parmesan.
Panada. I mean,
Grana Padano, the
It's-
Sottocenere.
I mean,
Well,
yeah, in Switzerland, Gruyere. And what about in Germany? You could can you?
you know what? Going back to the Rogue River Blue, remember we had the Aranzia,
Yes.
okay, with the orange cut up, with the soaked in this orange liqueur. That would be something very similar to the Rogue River Blue.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
similar flavor profiles, similar concept, um, spectacular cheese.
Totally. Totally.
Well,
Agree
but
with
yes, go and travel, enjoy yourself, and literally when you travel, go to the different cheesemakers. Utah has some incredible cheesemakers. Beehive, if you go up into, there used to be a Danish gentleman up in just north of Salt Lake, something Snow River. He's no longer around, sadly, and the recipes were not passed on.
you.
But oh my God, those cheeses were incredible. If you go to Lamoille Valley in northern Nevada, Lamoille Valley has this. We're very fortunate in Nevada to have this huge, especially northern Nevada, this huge Basque influence. So when you go to Lamoille, there's a lot of sheep. If you go into northern Nevada, Idaho border, there's a bunch of sheep. Sandhill Dairy in Fallon, Nevada, their cheeses are incredible, but they're more mainstream. Fresh queso fresco, mozzarella. They used to do a wonderful blue cheese, but they stopped doing it. So yeah, please travel and enjoy. Okay. All right. Well, it was so good to have you all here.
Do we have any more questions?
Yes. Any questions? Anything, you can always reach us.
Cheese, wine, food.
Cheese, wine. Ask Caroline, ask me, ask Brian. Send us an email, and we're more than happy to answer anything that you shoot us over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just have fun with your food
Yes.
and your wine.
Have
Enjoy
fun
the
with
pairing.
food and wine. Enjoy that. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. We all wish you from the bottom of our heart a phenomenal 2021. So cheers to you. Thank you for joining us this evening. Jason, thank you. Caroline, cheers. Diana, Marissa,
Cheers.
my wife, Kathy.
Yay!
Thank you, Brian and
Cheers.
Joanne. It was such a pleasure having you. Thank you so much.
See you at home.
Okay. See you at home soon, and hopefully we can welcome you back here at the shop pretty soon to make a cheese class in person. Because, you know, I always love seeing your faces and seeing your smiles. So thank you so much. Cheers again, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Good night.